over to you, Jan, for your case study.
Thank you very much. Here is my case study, which was focused on e-commerce products. And the problem statement we went through was that we believe that e-commerce businesses struggle with expansion to different language markets. This was just an assumption, and we didn't know much about it, but we believe that this is true, and we needed to explore if it really is an acute problem or if it's based on any truth itself. So here are the objectives for the first part of the course. We had to achieve a problem market fit by validating that language expansion is a real acute problem for e-commerce businesses. And there were a couple of key results. I had to organize 5 to 9 discovery calls. I wanted to explore the problem space a bit, as I said, to find out whether it's really acute. And then as a last step, I had to validate whether the niche was well selected or if any changes could be made to it. Maybe I could put it into full screen mode so it's better visible. Okay, so here are some results of the customer discovery. I was setting up calls with the customers, and here's a lot of information from them. It was really difficult to go through all the different levels of problems they have, and I had to distill something which looked to be acute and very valuable to them. And from all these talks, I pointed out 2 really painful problems. One problem for e-commerce businesses is that the continuous translations is really hard to execute. Continuous translation means that the online stores, they have a lot of content which is changing all the time. And every time they change something, the change has to propagate into all these different languages, and these changes, they happen all the time. So it's really difficult for them to achieve this continuous translation process. This seemed to be like a most painful problem to them. And at the same time, it's a little bit bound to the first problem. It's really hard to achieve the translation quality because different customers were tackling this problem in different ways, but the output was always the same, that they really were struggling with poor translation quality. So in my ideal solution, I would like to tackle these 2 problems, which is continuous translation and good quality at the same time. It sounds hard, but let's see what I came up with in the next slides. So here are some product vision statements. I say we help online stores to reach new language markets. So the customer is e-commerce businesses, and I help them to reach the new language markets. And as a product strategy, I say we help online stores to reach new language markets with seamless continuous localization. So the opportunity here is the seamless continuous translation or localization. I took this statement and I put it into a landing page and tried to convert some of the leads through LinkedIn, but this is already an objective 2, which means to validate the statement, validate whether the offer is valuable to the customer, and do some reach out on LinkedIn, reach out the conversion rate, and explore the problem a little bit more by using some techniques like Blue Ocean strategy and the product story canvas, and define the final product vision in this part. So here are the results from the landing pages. I took two different variations. The first one was we help online stores to reach new language markets with seamless continuous localization. And after 50 contacts, I found out that it doesn't work so well because I assume it was too complicated. So the conversion rate was only 2%. It means 2 signups or 1 signup. I'm not sure what was the final number. It's just 2%. And therefore, I early decided to switch to the second statement, which says we help online stores to reach new language markets within minutes. And this really helped to push the conversion rate a bit more. So I did another 80 more reach outs, and I got around 7 signups from that.
Just to jump in there, that it's great to see, because what this proves is that, you know, we talk so much about this internal problem and always understand, like, what do they really want? They want to save time. They don't care about how you do it. Right. So it's great to see that.
Okay, thanks. I need to something's okay. Good. So yeah, so here is the final statement I went with. So we help online stores to reach new language markets within minutes. I think it's pretty neat. It's short, clear, and it delivers the message. So I think this could be a good vision. Then I try to explore the product story canvas. There were different options, but it all revolves around the vision here that we want to deliver the languages as quickly as possible without any unnecessary steps. And here is a exploration of the competitive market. In the localization market, there seems to be a lot of competition. It's pretty hot these days. So I really had to look through the different services and what kind of features or what kind of communication they do. And I found that nobody's really doing the continuous localization well. They don't communicate translation quality that much. And sometimes it's kind of hard to automate the tasks. On the other hand, what I wouldn't want to do with the product is starting to build some custom machine translation engines and a little bit more of this technical stuff, which includes AI, as I think it's very complicated and it shouldn't be a topic at the beginning, or at least with the resources I have. Okay, so for the third objective, we need to come up with some solutions and test that the solutions are feasible and that the solutions are valuable to the customer. So the key results was 10% of signups who join our beta waiting list, and to create a lean canvas and strategic roadmap and evaluate the value and feasibility, and also create the customer journey map, which we would use in the next step. Here is some overview of the solution generation process. We've generated around 20 different solution ideas, which we've prioritized using impact and effort metrics. And we decided that the biggest impact with a reasonable amount of effort would be to create an integration into some existing e-commerce platform. Just select one e-commerce platform, create an integration with our existing system, and make it as easy and quick as possible. So the ideal roadmap would be to in the first step to integrate one initial e-commerce platform, then extend the product to maximize the customer satisfaction. And in some later stage, we would ideally try to expand to other e-commerce platforms. Here is everything laid out in a lean canvas. We decided to go, as I said, with integrating into one e-commerce platform. I did some quick market research, and we decided to go with Shopify, as it seems like quite a market with a reasonable size, and it's quite popular, as well as used by many existing customers we already have. They're using the our platform, but they have like a very different type of integration, which is not that seamless and not that I would say convenient for the end users. So by going forward with this step, it also means that our niche would be further narrowed to Shopify users exclusively. But I don't see it as a problem at this point, as we already have like real users which had expressed interest in the integration, so we just need to test that it's the solution would be valuable to them. Here's the customer journey map. Here I try to make the onboarding and the time to value as short as possible. So ideally, customer will come through some marketplace in the Shopify platform. They will click one button, install the app, and then they will be redirected into their platform. They will pick a language. It will just fetch all the data from our platform, and they will be able to preview the machine translated version of their store almost instantly. And at that point, they should see the value immediately. Even though it's not the best quality because it's just machine translation, but it demonstrates the purpose of the plugin, and it should show them that this is really valuable and it's easy to translate and use. So in the next objective, we have to validate the core value of our product and show that it's valuable to customers. I had to onboard some beta users, and in ideal world, I would have to do this in an ongoing process. So after some sign up or any other automated way. I didn't set it up yet, but I just onboarded some users to talk to at the beginning, but I would do this later. Then another step was to use the product market fit engine to determine the PMF score on those users. So after the testing, we would send a questionnaire with a predefined set of questions. And I guess this step has to be as a first one. We have to build a no-code prototype, which is in the first place, it was just a simple iteration, but as we continued testing with the users, the prototype improved a bit over the couple of weeks. So here are some screenshots of the prototype. I'm not sure if I have time to click through it. Or
maybe give me a quick overview of how it works.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's always good to see. I'm sorry, for the Figma project, was this designed by you, or were you working with your designer?
No, just me.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That's a good way to learn as
well. Yeah. There are many options how to prototype this, but this is just a demonstration how the plugin would look like. But as a next step, we did some investigation, and it seems that it would need some development work to actually get something useful from it. And it means like integrating already into the Shopify platform, which takes resources. So we didn't delve into it that much. So I went with this simple prototype from Figma. So here is the page from Shopify App Store. You would ideally find the app somewhere in the listing. You would click Add App. It would redirect you to your existing online shop. Here is all those access confirmations. So you just click Install App. It would redirect you to our platform because we need account of the user to be created. So he has to sign up in our platform, and then when he signs up, he gets redirected back to the store where he is already presented with a list of languages he can pick from. He can also search for any arbitrary language. This list is just a suggestion of the most used languages. I put how many users are there worldwide, or speakers, but later on, I didn't have this data, but later on I would like to estimate value of the possible revenue when adding this language. So this was just an example, but
don't worry too much about the detail. I just want to see the main screen.
Yeah, okay. So here you pick the languages you want to add. Next step, and here you presented by the list of languages you have there, and you can preview any of them. So you can preview, you get redirected to your shop which is already translated in the language you have. So you would switch languages here, and that's it. Yeah. Okay. Back to the presentation. This was the prototype. Here are some results from the questionnaire. People said that the integration was very simple and clean, and they loved the setup in just a few clicks, which was probably the most valuable thing to them, that they were able to start in like no time, which was already the product vision at the beginning. So I think we delivered this pretty well with the prototype. And things to improve, I guess this was a lot of feature requests more than general feedback. They wanted to basically translate the whole experience. So translating the shop doesn't mean only translating the content, but they also want to translate the checkout experience. They want to localize the prices and things like that, which gets pretty complicated, but it's something which is definitely doable in the future.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah. So here I just listed the things they mentioned they want to translate in a user story form. So they want to localize the checkout experience. They want to localize the CEO of the pages, and they also want to manage the translation directly from the app, so they don't have to switch between the platforms. And this is Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm going to pause you on these just so we have time for feedback. Awesome. Did you have a final slide as well on process? Just so I know you've reviewed it.
Sorry, I didn't hear
Did you have one final slide on process as well?
Yeah. I pretty much used what was in the template. So
Nice. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. We'll pause those. Just it's good. Yeah. I know that you've gone through them at least just to review them. Great. Let's okay, I'm just gonna give some feedback on the presentation and then talk about some general points. So yeah, generally good case study. I think really interesting, obviously, in this case, because you're actually applying it in your company. So it's cool to see the learnings. I think a few things to improve upon. Storytelling generally, I thought was definitely something to improve upon. This is one of these soft skills which is like so important to leadership. For example, just give me a bit of context around the problem at the beginning, like how did this problem come up? It adds a bit of curiosity, it's a bit more interesting from the start. Second thing, bridging. This was lacking. So for example, when you go from, let's say, the problem, why do you, so you went, okay, and here was objective 2. So it felt like these things were separate when they're not, right? What happens, right? These OKRs are like levels in a video game. Right? We complete objective and key results, tick, 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 and then we move on to level 2.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I didn't practice this before.
Don't worry, but
you're completely right.
Really key skill, really key skill. Because again, this is not like, this is just us chatting, right? But these kind of things are like absolutely what you need to be doing when you present internally. So this is a good practice space for it. So just bridging, connecting points. Nice with the discovery. You gave those highlights. You said, look, from that we discovered 2 acute problems. Excellent. They're going to remember those. On the objective 2, this was good actually. It was clear, like why are you showing me these OKRs? Because you said, I'm always thinking like, would someone random understand this? You said, so objective 2, we want to validate whether the offer was actually valuable. You put it in simple English, right? Not using any technical terms like MBA, all of this stuff. Just simple. This is what we're trying to do. See, okay, is this offer actually valuable? The key results, again, give more context. You said we reached 5% conversion. I was like, okay, well, conversion to what? Like, what was that? You did later with the visuals, with the landing page, but it wasn't really clear. So again, always think, how would someone random, non-product understand this? I love that you shared the results. That's great storytelling. So you're like, here was version 1 and version 2. Why is that? Because it gets someone interested. And secondly, you're also selling the product process. They're seeing the value of it, of doing an A/B test in practice, right? Tangible data. So it's really powerful. One thing I was a bit disappointed with, but the vision felt really weak. Not the written, the statement was great. Your analytical work was good, but the way you said it was like, we came up with this vision. I think it sounds pretty neat. I think it sounds sort of good. This is the vision, right? This is where you're the head of product, essentially. Like you need to plant your flag and inspire people with that vision. And it's a validated vision, so you can be confident in it. Generally, we can't, because people just sort of say something random and then that's the vision. Like you've done all the work, like that this is the direction. So again, obviously it's a different concept, but if you're presenting to your team, you need to lift your game with that. Again, it really inspire people. Same with the roadmap, inspire people around that roadmap. They're going to be working 2 years on this stuff in a startup, which is tough. So you've got to really tell a compelling story, get people on board, get people excited about this so that we can really get momentum going. Again, this is an artificial environment, but don't do that with your team. And then the results were great. Again, the core of the presentation was great. The actual data points were great. Just the storytelling aspect. Like, for example, the fact, it's always a very good sign if the feedback you're getting from the product market fit engine is aligned with what your promise is in the MBO. And now you've got it. That's how you're going to achieve product market fit, right? You're promising something and then delivering on it. And now it's just about, obviously, building the real thing and then continuing to deliver. Just zooming out in terms of general points, similar to the case study, and I think, you've got all of the foundations to be a really great product manager. You've got a good analytical mind, like you're smart, good technical understanding. And I think, you know, I see things like really good learnings for you around differentiation, for example, that realization that, hey, we're in a busy market, but actually, if we really go after continuous localization, like that's, you know, that's where I think we're going to succeed. So these kind, you know, I can see that transformation, which is great. And I think, you know, next steps here is just, I think it's going from, okay, I'm a manager to a leader, right? A leader, you know, I think of a leader as somebody, firstly, who's confident. So don't doubt yourself. Don't say things like, I think this vision sounds good, right? You know, this is the vision you've come up with, you've done the work, plant the flag, be confident in that. And again, be confident generally, like you've got the skill set. And secondly, again, don't forget that people are looking to you to lead. So that means any presentation, any time you're in a call, you need to be organized, you need to be inspiring, you need to bring energy to all of those conversations, even when you don't feel like it. Right? That's the responsibility of leadership, and you're in that position whether you want it or not, right? You've got that privilege of leading people, but it requires, you know, as I said, these kind of storytelling, the energy, these kind of things, which, you know, they don't come naturally to me. But these are things that you just practice. If you do that, you know, you, again, as I said, you've got all the foundations. So I think it's just trying to, you know, lift your game on storytelling, on leadership, on communication, confidence, these kind of things.
Yeah, makes sense.
Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I honestly, I wasn't that much focusing on these things before, and maybe when I start thinking about it or just having it in my mind, it should come naturally, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that takes time. You just gradually improve. You know, again, you've got the foundation. The important thing at the moment is like you're organizing, like getting impactful features built. That's the stage you're at. But as your company starts growing, you need to start thinking about that next stage, which is, you know, what happens when we scale? What happens when we have different teams? Which, you know, hopefully that's going to come, and that's where you need to, you know, be ready for that, essentially.
Sure. Makes sense.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, yeah, pleasure having you on the program. I thought, you know, good interactions. I think really interesting as well to follow like your journey with localazy as well.
Yeah.
And do feel free to reach out. I would really suggest posting on the Slack channels in future with any issues you've got, because you've got 180 product managers who are all very smart and experienced. So, you know, you're going to get some great ideas and feedback there. So do use that resource. It's like having an army of free consultants. And yeah, just is, you know, you're smart. You realize there's some things to carry on improving in the background. So just keep doing what you're doing, I think.
Good.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we'll see you at one of the live events at some point. We'll expand out to Poland at some point. If not, we'll stay in touch online over Slack as well as part of the community.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Jan. Have a great afternoon as well, and we'll speak soon.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.